I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret today. Inactivity is the key to successful investing. Yet, the finance media, which is in essence an extension of the Wall Street fee machine, essentially a two-headed hydra, is dependent on activity to generate fees. If people aren't trading in and out, buying and selling, locking in a quick profit, the fee machine ain't taking a cut. And if viewers aren't dependent on CNBS to tell them, what should I buy today? What should I sell today? They're not going to tune in tomorrow, are they? This also applies, I think, to many content creators. If my goal were to grow a big audience online in the investing space, there's nothing bigger I could do to handicap myself than buy and hold a single stock long term, never have sold at all, period, ever, and say the same shit every fucking day. I probably also wouldn't drop so many F-bombs because a lot of people get butthurt. Stop swearing, bro. Don't you understand? It offends people. I noticed the title of this short clip from CNBS today. Tesla faces a lot of short-term challenges. See? This is CNBS in a nutshell. This is the kind of thing that's going to get a trader mindset, quote-unquote investor to tune in. What short-term challenges? Should I sell right now? What do I do? Should I short the stock? I don't know. Tell me what to do, CNBS, so I can generate some fees for your buddies on Wall Street, please. Thank you. Before we get to these short-term challenges that won't move the needle long-term, that Tesla apparently faces, here's Dave Lee, who said today, quote, "I've never been so bullish on Tesla long-term as I am now." Elon's political involvement doesn't change Tesla's long-term trajectory, which is dependent on the company's continued execution toward Robotaxi and Optimus. And I could not agree more. Now, for those who don't know, Dave Lee has a much bigger brain than you. By the way, sorry if James Dower is watching. That might be the one exception to that comment. Love you, James. Dave adds, more context, Tesla's long-term future has never been brighter or with more potential. I just think most people underestimate or don't grasp the lead Tesla has with generalized autonomous driving and humanoid robots. And on this point, again, I could not agree more. I've been saying the exact same shit for years. I want to make sure people understand it's not hyperbole, although I often am hyperbolic in my statements, but this is a statement of reality. It's quite clear to me, and apparently to Dave as well, that the majority of investors, people who even consider Tesla as a potential investment, simply either massively underestimate or just do not get the lead Tesla has with generalized autonomy and the humanoid robots. I've covered this so many times. I said earlier in this video, I say the same shit every day because it's still true and people still don't get it. The day people get it more broadly, I'll no longer need to say it, will I? Now, people are free to draw their own conclusions and have their own beliefs on this. That's what you do thinking and analysis for yourself. But play along at home. If it's true that, generally speaking, most people don't understand or massively underestimate the lead Tesla has in terms of generalized autonomous driving and humanoid robots, what are the long-term implications? And the long-term implications would be massive scale, total domination, crazy profits. Continuing with Dave's post. Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. And he ain't. He adds, also things obviously can change in a fast-moving world, but I haven't seen Tesla slowing down with progress, innovation, execution in regards to FSD and humanoid robots. If Tesla continues to execute well, which isn't guaranteed, true, then a very high likelihood they become the winner takes most in some of the largest markets ever, namely transportation, logistics, and labor and services. He continues, I don't think politics or even government policy will derail this. What can derail this is if Tesla fumbles this opportunity through bad execution or loss of focus. But with Elon in charge, I don't see Tesla fumbling this historic opportunity. Actually, I should say opportunities. Dave's hit it out of the park. In related matters, Ilya Sutskever, for those who don't know, he's the big brain Elon Musk personally recruited to OpenAI back in the day. He's since left the company, something Sam Altman. I think Ilya may have his heart in the right place. Sam, not so much. Anyway, the point is this guy has a massive brain too, and he's an AI expert and has been personally involved in pushing AI forward. And again, I just wanted to show this before we look at the short-term challenges that Tesla allegedly has, keeping in mind what Ilya is about to say about AI, which, yes, that does include autonomous vehicles and humanoid robots.
Slowly but surely, or maybe not so slowly, AI will keep getting better. And the day will come when AI will do all the things, not just some of them, but all of them. Anything which I can learn, anything which any one of you can learn, the AI could do as well. How do we know this, by the way? How can I be so sure? How can I be so sure of that? The reason is that all of us have a brain, and the brain is a biological computer. That's why. We have a brain, the brain is a biological computer. So why can't a digital computer, a digital brain, do the same thing? This is the one-sentence summary for why AI will be able to do all those things. Because we have a brain, and the brain is a biological computer.
That one-sentence summary really hits the nail on the head. Now, you can argue over timing, although I would refer you to the current endless examples of hockey stick improvements in terms of AI capabilities, language, image generation, video, and soon autonomy. But you cannot argue with the logical conclusion. And if that's true, AI will in fact be able to drive vehicles as good as and then better than humans, and increasingly intelligent, increasingly capable humanoid robots. Embodied AI will at some point in the future be able to do literally any task a human can, and eventually some that we can't. I saw this interaction here. Bill Gurley, you might know from the BG2 podcast, both a big guy and a big name in the VC world, responding to a post from Sawyer Merritt. So each Waymo cost $180,000. That's important data if accurate. To which James Stevenson responds, I agree. Many believe Waymo is the leader in driverless ride sharing, but it costs them 6 times more per vehicle upfront than the $30,000 or so it cost Tesla to make a Model Y, and roughly an order of magnitude more than Tesla's cost per forthcoming Cybercab. Now, this is true. Waymo themselves have disclosed costs per vehicle, so unless they're lying to the public, why would they do that? It's true. And we know what it costs Tesla to produce an entry-level Model Y because they have to report their financial data. We can see their profit margins per vehicle. We know their starting prices. We can extrapolate all this stuff. And here's why it matters. Putting aside Tesla's lead with generalized autonomous driving, e.g. software that's capable of driving, period, meaning it will scale rapidly and widely, which in and of itself is game, set, and match. Even if Waymo had equivalent scale and equivalent software, just imagine somehow miraculously they had exactly the same capability with their vehicles. A few years from now, Tesla and Waymo have the exact same servers operating everywhere in the same cities with the same wait times, blah, blah, blah. Here's the problem. If Tesla could put a vehicle on roads for a fraction the cost, 10, maybe 20% the cost of Waymo, that means Tesla has a massive cost advantage, which they can pass on to customers, and spoiler alert, they will. It's in line with their mission, accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. I've said this 1 trillion times, but here's the 1,000,000,000st time. The biggest leverage point Tesla has for achieving this mission is through autonomy, due to high utilization rates. Better to have a Robotaxi operating and be doing 5+ times the miles per year, all electric, than sell that same vehicle to a customer only for personal use. Autonomy is directly in line with and a massive accelerant to Tesla's mission, meaning they will drive their cost to use their autonomous vehicles down as fast as they reasonably can, providing wait times don't blow out, which is an easy problem to solve. Price per city, saturate a city, put more vehicles in a city as cost comes down, blah, blah, blah. You get it right. If this is true, and it is, and Tesla aggressively drives their cost per mile down, maintaining profit margins, but doing so as fast as they can without wait times become ridiculous. What happens if you're Waymo trying to compete with Tesla and trying to entice customers to use your identical service in this hypothetical game? Well, you'll have to have an identical price. Otherwise, good fucking luck. Do we understand how this plays out? Putting aside the actual software itself, and again, that's a whole other kettle of fish. Tesla's going to win on this generalized solution, massive scale. But pretend that's not even the case. Even this hardware piece of the puzzle alone makes it inevitably apparent. Waymo's fucked. They won't be able to compete with Tesla on cost. Good news for Waymo. They can suck from the teat of Alphabet, aka Google, for years to come. But at some point, surely Google just pulls the plug and says, what are we doing? Why are we losing billions and billions and billions of dollars trying to compete with Tesla on this service? Now, the curveball here would be if Google somehow becomes superior at manufacturing autonomous electric vehicles at scale, superior than the world leader today, Tesla. Can you imagine that? No, neither can I. But that's what would need to happen. So there's a double whammy here. It's not just the unbelievable cost advantage Tesla has and will in terms of putting the hardware on roads, which in and of itself is a game, set, match moment. But as Dave pointed out in his post, most people either don't understand, they don't grasp, or they just massively underestimate the lead Tesla has with generalized autonomous driving. Tesla's going to scale so fucking fast, you can't believe it. And importantly, what Tesla's built with the vehicle, and I mentioned this a couple of years ago when the humanoid robot was first announced, they've essentially been able to transplant the brain of the vehicle, which has solved the majority of vision into the humanoid robot. No other company has this. Just like people used to see a Tesla vehicle and think it's a car, not a computer on wheels, because it's got wheels and windows, it's a car. The entire architecture is completely different though. So too, they look at a Tesla humanoid robot and go, well, I've seen other companies with humanoid robots as well. What Tesla's got is exactly the same, but they don't understand beneath the surface. Completely different. Of course, I too could be wrong, but I'm not. Now, I guess I'd share this post I saw from Jeremy, aka Financial Education, who I'm not sure whether or not he's just rage baiting for engagement at this stage or not. I mean, I really don't know. Who posted literally yesterday, as I record this, sell Tesla stock, sell it all. Geez, dangerous thing to put on the record. Robotaxi business will not be anything of meaningful financial performance for minimum 5 years. Robots are a 2030 plus story. Although, doing the math on that, I think that same thing. Core business sucks. Valuation sky high. This stock will be lower or around here 3 to 5 years from now. Waste of capital. So let me know in the comments below. Is Jeremy just trolling for engagement now? I actually don't know. Or is this a serious comment? So now that we've discussed the long term and also seen a few predictions about Tesla from one of the biggest brains on the planet, and then also separately Jeremy, let's hear about the short-term challenges Tesla allegedly faces, which will no doubt incentivize many viewers of CNBS to tune in tomorrow, next week, on Thursday, and also sell, buy, get some puts, or even shorter stock, because activity generates profits and returning viewers.
Here shrugging off a pair of downgrades to kick off the week, jumping 4.5%. Analysts have been raising concerns over CEO Elon Musk's growing feud with President Trump. But our next guest says the war of words is far from the only obstacle facing this company. Former Ford CEO and CNBC contributor Mark Fields joins us here on set at the NASDAQ. Mark, welcome. It's great to see you in person.
Thank you.
For a long time, you've been a Tesla doubter, but now is a nail in the coffin, in your view?
No, absolutely not. Listen, from a short-term perspective, they face a lot of challenges. They face, declining sales. Part of that has to do with the fact that there's more competition now. 5 years ago, they didn't have a lot of competition. You see declining sales. You see declining margins. China is a big problem for them. It's a big market for them, and there's a lot of domestic manufacturers there. So they have a number of issues. Plus, on top of wrapped all around the issues with Musk being involved with the Trump administration. That being said, they have a lot of advantages, right? They have a cost position better than the rest of the industry.
This is true and extremely important. Tesla dictates terms in the electric vehicle industry. World's best-selling vehicle, 2023, 2024, and no doubt this year as well, Tesla's Model Y. If you want to compete on the same planet, it's called Earth, as Tesla, you need to offer a product that is fairly comparable for a relatively similar price, or you won't sell very many of them. I mean, you can spend a lot of money advertising and manipulate a very far end of the bell curve into buying your inferior product and paying more. That's only going to go so far. So if Tesla decides to pass on cost savings they've achieved through new efficiencies and techniques in manufacturing, which they have, will, and continue to do. It's literally in their mission statement, by the way. You're going to have to follow them on prices. But if you're already losing money selling electric vehicles, trying to compete with Tesla at current prices, spoiler alert, everyone is, just means you're going to lose more money until you can drive your costs down. And the problem is, if you're not Tesla, you end up recruiting the leftovers, the C, D, and E players to your teams, because everyone with massive brains and a lot of ambition wants to work for Elon Musk at either SpaceX or Tesla. This is actually really important. Tesla has their pick of the bunch, the world's greatest engineers, who produce the greatest results, including massive cost savings in manufacturing. It's an unwinnable battle. Worse still, most companies that build vehicles end up reaching a point where they file for bankruptcy. It's not an easy business.
They have positive margins, which is better than the rest of the industry. And, they're launching the Robotaxi business, which if they get that right with what they're using cameras, they can have a big cost advantage versus somebody like Waymo. And then there's robotics. So,
well, that's awesome. I didn't actually realize because I hadn't watched this clip. I just seen the title right. But we covered this earlier in the video and he's pointed out he's absolutely right. Now, obviously, the caveat, if they're successful, they will be. They do have a massive cost advantage. It's not just cost though, but scale. And this is one of the things I don't know if Mark himself appreciates or not. Tesla's generalized solution for autonomy is unlike anything else in the marketplace. And as Dave Lee pointed out, people either just don't get this or they massively underestimate the implications.
So that's the way I would characterize it.
Right. For a long time, we've talked about, in the bear case for Tesla, growing competition. And we are at the point now where that is nipping away at the edges.
If by nipping away at the edges, or you mean losing money selling electric vehicles, trying to compete with Tesla, then sure.
Can the big three, can other automakers actually capitalize on Tesla's woes, or is it so dispersed, those market share losses of Tesla amongst the competitors, that it's not really a win for anybody else?
Well, it is a win when they're gaining share. I mean, if you look at Tesla's market share of the industry 3 years ago, they had 85%.
Oh, not this again. This is a nothing argument. Completely vapid. Covered this before. Example, if Tesla was the only company making electric vehicles, they by default have 100% market share. As soon as company B comes along and sells one vehicle to one customer, Tesla's market share has decreased. That tells us nothing. Vehicles sold globally, that's the metric to focus on if you want to be fair and reasonable just about their automotive business. So, like, for example, 3 years ago, how many vehicles did Tesla sell in 2022 for the full year? And in 2023, was it a larger number by a meaningful amount? Same for 24? Answer, yes.
Of the market. Now they have below 50%. So that's a positive for the established automaker. The issue is going to be going forward is with tariffs, that is going to worsen the margins for the established OEMs. And in particular, if they sell a less amount of EVs, they have to meet fuel economy requirements. And if they don't meet those, they have to buy emissions credits. And guess who they buy them from? They buy them from Tesla. So in effect, they help subsidize the Tesla business. But net.
This is true, and it's kind of crazy. I've said in the past, going back many years, Tesla's so-called competition in essence have been paying for Tesla to build new gigafactories to put them out of business faster. Imagine, for example, that your wife complains that you finish too fast, and she gets mad. You're not meeting her standards. As a result, you, out of your own pocket, need to pay your next-door neighbor to rearrange her insides.
They're gaining, but they have to get to profitability to have profitable growth.
What's the path forward for a Ford automaker in this environment? Because they're seemingly sort of mired in no man's land.
I have an answer for that. The actual path forward: kill the ICE business, spin out the EV business, let the ICE business go bankrupt, partner with Tesla, slap a Ford badge on everything, and literally have Tesla make the vehicles for you. Well, I'm not kidding, by the way. Tesla software, Tesla FSD computer, Tesla sensors, e.g. the cameras. Offer them all with FSD out of the gate. Tesla does just about everything. You license technology from them, but it's essentially a Tesla inside. Slap a Ford badge on the outside and hope that through a generous licensing deal with FSD, you can survive. That's the actual plan forward for a company like Ford to survive. But good luck getting shareholder approval, getting your board on board with such a seemingly outlandish proposal today, when most people still think that the competition is finally coming for Tesla and that companies like Ford, General Motors, Volkswagen, Toyota, you name it, will still be solvent 10, 15 years from now. Speaking of 10, 15 years from now, one regret I will absolutely not have is wishing I'd bought more Tesla stock. I've literally been buying with every spare cent for about a decade straight, so I couldn't have done any more. Another regret I won't have is selling any Tesla stock, because I still have not sold a single share. And I also really look forward to revisiting some of my predictions about Tesla's autonomous software, how quickly they'd scale, their cost advantage over companies like Waymo, and the massive potential with the humanoid robot, which, as Dave Lee pointed out earlier, on those two massive AI projects, autonomy and humanoid robots, not some, but most people don't seem to grasp or truly appreciate what I would describe as Tesla's unassailable lead. By the way, it's June, motherfuckers. Tesla's first Robotaxis will be operating this month in Austin. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Plus, has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.